Picture this. You went to the shelter to rescue a dog, and one stands out. His name's Biscuit, he's a rescue from Romania, and his life's consisted of living on the streets, fighting other dogs, and getting chased by shop owners whenever he got close. You heard his story and it melted your heart. You knew you wanted to give him the life that he deserved. When you brought him home, you gave him all the treats he wanted, you got him all the best toys, and how did he repay you for all this kindness? He pulled you all over the place, barked at every single dog he saw, and you just knew this wasn't fair on you or him. So you went to a trainer, dropped him off with him, and then when you came back to pick him up an hour later, this is how he was. Now when it comes to a rescue like Biscuit, there's something you need to remember. They've never had structure or guidance. They've been out roaming the streets, or even other dogs they've been fighting dogs. They've never had that guidance and that structure that they need, which a lot of the time is why they react. You think when they're out, something that's always worked for them is, there's a dog over there, I don't know if they're going to come over and attack me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and bark at them first to try and scare them off. So they bark, they go mental, and the other dog just doesn't want it, they can't be bothered to deal with it, so they just go another way. So what's happened is, this dog, Biscuit, has learned that anytime I react, the dog leaves. So a quick way for him to kind of get what he wants out of a situation is by reacting. Oh, I'm not sure of that, okay, I'm going to bark. There's a dog here, okay, I'm going to bark. What happens is, their judgment is clouded by their fear. So all that happens is, they'll see a dog and they don't bother even thinking, oh, well he's got a relaxed body language, his tail's wagging, he's smiling at me, he's got a toy on him so he wants to play. He doesn't see all of these signs and think, oh, that dog's actually friendly. He just thinks, maybe there's an odd chance that he's not friendly and I don't want to risk it, so I'm going to react. So all that happens is he becomes antisocial. He never socialises with any other dogs because the other dogs, well, he never get an opportunity to because he's always reacting. And then it's like a downward spiral. All his life is pretty much is, I see a dog, I got to react, I survive. And for a rescue, or for any dog, but a rescue's actually had to live it. Survival is the main motivator for any dog. So living means a lot more to them than having fun, or getting a treat, or getting a toy. Living is always the most desirable thing for a dog to do. So unless he's shown another option or another way where he can survive, then he's never going to do it. How I like to describe this to people when they come to me is, imagine you was on a safari. You're driving around, whatever, you're seeing trees and rhinos or whatever, and then you get off the cart to have a look, you're wandering around, whatever, and you see a lion. Your first thought is, I don't know what to do. So you run back to the cart, you get in, and then you survive. Let's say the next time you're out on a safari, you see that lion again. What are you going to do? Try and stroke him? You're not going to try the other option because you know what works. So you're going to run away again and you're going to survive. Our job is to pretty much say, no, you can't get on the cart this time. Because we know that lion's friendly or whatever. We know nothing bad's going to happen. So we say, you're not getting on, you've got to try something else. So then they think, oh, what do I do? I can stroke him, I can lay down, I can do whatever, I can just sit here and accept my fate. And then when let's say they sit there and they accept their fate and the lion doesn't kill them, they're like, oh, that was so much easier. I thought the lion was going to kill me, I thought this one situation was going to happen, when actually it was the complete opposite. So for a dog, at the minute they're reacting because they think this is the only way for us or for him to survive. What we need to do is flip it and show him that you can't react anymore and you're still going to survive. So by giving him that structure and that guidance, he's going to realise that the easier option, which is relaxing, is going to give me the same outcome as doing all this hard option, which gets my adrenaline going, which gets me barking, which keeps me antisocial and not fun. So it's like I can get the same outcome and I haven't got to do all of that. And then on top of that, I also have the chance of having fun with that dog or having fun with my owner if I can stay calm. So that's what we wanted to do for him. And the best way we found to do that show that for a dog is by doing what we call an assumed hill. So pretty much all an assumed hill is we want the dog to walk next to us and mirror what we do. So the first thing you do is you build trust. If your dog doesn't trust you, they're not going to feel comfortable mirroring you. And this you can't do around other dogs because they don't, especially a rescue, they haven't lived with you their whole life. They've had more of their life away from you than they have with you. So what you've got to do is, in a quiet area, go to a field out the way, whatever, you need to start just walking them. Just take them out, nothing bad happens, you never see a dog. You want to do this for most dogs, especially if it's your first time doing it, you want to do this for about a week. The better you get, obviously the quicker it can be for you to build that trust, but to kind of make up for where you might go wrong here or there, it's best to do it for about a week. Now, if you get to a point not to toot my own horn, but for me, I can do this in about half hour. Just because I understand it. I've been around dogs my whole life. I've been training different dogs. I've seen different dogs forever, you know, so it's just like second nature to me. But I don't expect, and I wouldn't put that pressure on yourself to try and get it done in half hour, because all that happens is all that pressure and all the nerves of trying to get it right the first time all build up, and you end up getting it worse than if you just did it for a week. So if I was you, I'd just do it for a week, go out, go to a field, go wherever, just somewhere where you're not going to see anyone. So all that happens is you're going to play with him, you're going to be fun, you're going to be exciting, you're going to be engaging, and then he's like, oh, anytime I'm around this person, something fun happens. So then you're building up this positive of this guy, this owner is always fun. So that builds the trust, and it builds kind of a pack mentality. Now, the next thing you need to do is, now that you've got that trust, now that he feels like he can rely on you, what you want to do is have a treat. So whenever he's next to you, I want you to use a clicker or use a marker word like yes. So all this does is mark exactly the moment you like. So pretty much, I won't go into it in full detail, I'll do a whole video on this. But the idea is the click just marks the exact position or the exact moment that he does what I want. Because dogs live quite quickly in their head, their brain ticks quite quick. Every 3 to 5 seconds they're thinking something different. So what we want to do is bridge the gap between them doing the good behavior and the reward they get for it. So like an example, if I'm teaching sit, let's say I lure his head upwards and he puts his back end on the ground. If I'm rummaging through my pockets trying to find a treat, and then 5, 6, 7 seconds later I give him that treat, he thinks, what was that even for? Because his head's somewhere else now. He doesn't even correlate it with the action of sitting down. He just thinks, oh, you gave me a treat for nothing. Same with for how we're going to teach an assumed heel. If he's next to us, as soon as he looks at us, I want you to click and then give him a treat. I don't want you to say anything. I don't want you to try and trick him into looking up at you. He's going to get bored eventually looking around, so he's going to look at you. As soon as his head turns even a glance towards you, hasn't even got to be a full look. As soon as it turns a slight bit towards you, click, give him a treat. Every time you do this, he's going to realise that looking everywhere else gets me nothing. Looking at you gets me what I want. So then keep doing that over and over again. Every time he looks, click, give him a treat, click, give him a treat. Now, when you're going out, I want you to try and up the duration of this. So every couple of seconds, when he looks, give it a second and then click, then give him a treat. Because then he learns it's not just a glance you want anymore, it's that full focus. Once he's getting in the hang of that, you can do 1 second, then 2, then 3. And like I said, you don't want to put a word on this because we want him to naturally look for us. We don't want it to be, okay, Biscuit, do this, do this, do this. We want it to be internal because we want him to look to us for that guidance, not be forced to look to us for that guidance. Because you force anyone to do anything, they see it as a chore and they're not going to want to do it. So you build that up, you get him used to looking at you. And then as you're doing that more and more, what you do is, we call it sudden stops. So randomly, you're just going to stop. If he keeps walking, I want you to hold the lead upwards to pretty much stop him. And then he's going to stop. He's going to look over to you to see what's going on while we stop him. As soon as he does that, you click, give him a treat because he's looked at you. Once you do this over and over again, he's going to realise that, oh, whenever he stops, he's going to give me a treat. So what's he going to want to do is look over at you incrementally, just to check, are we stopping yet? Are we stopping yet? Are we stopping yet? Because looking at you gets him a treat if he does it for a long period of time. But sometimes he's not going to want to stare at you. He's going to want to have a bit of a look round, which I understand. Of course, this is his walk as well. But if he wants to get a treat off of you, he thinks, oh, instead of having to stare at you for 5, 6, 7 seconds at a time, if I can just keep an eye on you and just check where your feet are, just to see if you're going to stop soon. If as soon as you stop, I stop, I can get the treat quicker and I can go back to doing what I was doing. So he's going to incrementally look and see what you're doing. So, are you stopping yet? Are you stopping yet? Are you stopping yet? And then he's going to get to a point where as soon as he sees your feet stop, he's going to sit down straight away. He doesn't want to move because he wants that treat as quick as he can get it. Once you're at this point, then you're ready to start going around other dogs. Now, if you want to be even better before you meet these other dogs, you can do something that we call sudden turns. It's quite obvious. Pretty much, instead of stopping now, you're just going to turn around. If he keeps going the other way, give him a little pop down the lead just to kind of get his body going. Come on, we're going this way. As soon as he catches up to you, click, give him a treat. Because now he's not just looking for you stopping, he's going to look for your body turning. So it's another thing to keep his brain occupied. And if you just imagine, let's say your dog's brain's like a pie chart. If before it was 40% or 60% looking for where other dogs are, because I need to survive. And there's 20% looking at different smells. And there's 10% looking at maybe there's a squirrel or a rabbit around here. And then there's that 10% for maybe you. If in your dog's brain, 90% of what's taking up space in there is not you, then why are they going to listen to you? They're not going to. If you're only that little 10% or maybe even less, why are they going to bother listening to you? They're just not going to. But if we can shift it, so now he's looking at us for focus because he wants a treat. So that takes up 10% of his brain. And every time I want a treat, I just got to stare at him for a little bit. That takes up 10%. And then he already has that 10% when he was looking at us from before anyway, where he was already thinking about us. Then he's got the other 10% or maybe 20% for them sudden stops. Anytime he stops, I'm going to get a treat, so I've got to keep thinking about whether he's going to stop or not. So that's 10%, 10%, 20%, so that's 40% now. And then another 20% for them sudden turns. And as well, if you want to do even better with that, you can do clockwise first. So he's turning on the outside here, gives him a bit more time to think. But to make it even better, if you do anti-clockwise, where you cut across his body, he's got even less time to think, so he's going to be even more aware. So that's, we'll say 30%, because then cuts across the body. So 10%, 10%, 20% and 30%. 70%. And he's got 10% for other dogs, 10% for different smells, and then 10% for miscellaneous stuff. So now you've gone from having 10% of your dog's brain being filled with you to now 70%. Now when you see a dog, their first instinct now isn't like how it was before, the 60% about a dog. Oh, there's a dog, I've got to react. Now it's, what's he doing? What's he doing? Because they've had so much focus on us, seeing what we're doing, staying in tune with us, and it's become like second nature to them. Oh, I'll just randomly look. Their first thought when they see something that's confusing to them or they don't understand, not just other dogs, but let's say loud noises or even squirrels and whatever. They hear a loud noise, they see a dog, whatever, they're going to think, okay, what are we doing? Are we going over there? Are we reacting, or what are we doing? Because by you doing the assumed hill instead of just a normal hill where they have to keep checking in with you, it simulates what a pack normally does. If you imagine, let's say, a pack in the wild, a pack of dogs, you've got one leader at the front, he says, this is what we're doing. And because they don't verbally speak, everything's through body language. So the rest of the pack, doesn't matter how big the pack is, they all walk behind him because they're trying to see that body language. Are we turning this way? Are we going here? Are we like whatever? That's his way of communicating. So all of them are incrementally checking in, seeing where he's going. We've just simulated that by using treats instead. So now he's like, okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? This just makes everything kind of natural to a dog. Especially your rescues, they take to this a bit better than some other dogs because they've lived a life in the wild. You know, they've been roaming, they've been doing these things. So if we can just simulate what they're used to, it's going to be a lot easier for them. So that's what we did with Biscuit anyway. We got him used to, well, we built trust first. We got him used to being with us. We started building up that assumed hill, so he was checking in with us, seeing what we was doing. And then when we introduced him to a dog, his first thought wasn't, I'm going to bark, I'm going to go mental. It was, what's he doing? What's he doing? Now I want to go over some more like the, I guess, miscellaneous stuff. The stuff that's not going to directly stop the dog from reacting, but might be a reason why you're accidentally causing the dog to react. Now, the first thing we kind of need to go over is how a dog reacts in the first place. So this can be for any dog, not just a rescue, but any dog that reacts. We'll use Biscuit as an example because that's the dog we've been using today. But let's say he's reacted before for whatever reason. And like we said, we need to be the example. We need to show him that he can look to us for guidance. We're going to not be bothered by it. But before that, we obviously didn't know this, so he's already reacted. In our mind, okay, we've got a reactive dog. So then when we're out, we're nervous. We're looking around every corner, looking for a dog, looking over there. And then as soon as we see a dog, we tense up. We don't know what to do. So we try and hold the dog back because we know that he's going to react soon. Oh, I can't do that, I can't deal with it. As well, when we get nervous, our legs stop working, we slow down. So that just tells our dog through kind of our body language that we're nervous. As well, when we're nervous, we release a pheromone in our sweat that, I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's like the sweat hormone. So the dog can smell that, the sweat hormone, the stress hormone. So that tells our dog that we're stressing. As well, when we see the dog, we focus on them. We don't want to take our eyes off them because we want to be ready. We want to be braced for that interaction. So everything we've done sounds quite logical, so we can handle it the best way we can. But in the dog's mind, all he's kind of understood is, okay, he's nervous, which means he's not a strong leader, so I've got to take control. The only thing that's changed in this situation is that dog over there that he's staring at, so that must be what's making him nervous. I can't see any signs wrong with that dog, but obviously there must be a reason if he's so bothered. I have to protect the pack because as the dog, I'm now the leader. Okay, I'm going to react. And then we've got that tension on the lead, and dogs have a thing called an opposition reflex. So when they feel pressure one way, they naturally want to fight against it. It builds frustration in them. So he's felt this pressure. So he's like, okay, I've got to have it then. And then he reacts, then we get flustered, we get annoyed, we start shouting at the dog, whatever. All this adds up to the dog thinking they've done the best job. What we need to do is the complete opposite. The first thing we do is we use what we call calm, confident energy. Pretty much all this means is I have calmness in my posture, so you can see that I'm not bothered by that other dog. And I have confidence, so you know that you can actually trust my leadership or trust my guidance. Because there's no point being calm if you can't trust that I'm being calm for a good reason. If someone's holding a knife on you and you're calm, it's confusing. But if you have that confidence as well, then I know, oh, he must not be bothered, this must be some joke, whatever. Dogs are the same. We need to show him that this situation we're in, I'm calm because I'm not bothered by that thing, and I'm confident so you can actually listen to me. Now, there's a few ways of doing this. One I tell a lot of people, especially people that get anxious more often, is try to just look straight ahead the whole time. There's no point you looking with your head on a swivel because it won't help you. Just look straight ahead. You can see out your peripherals some of the other stuff, whether there's a dog over there or whatever. But if you look straight ahead, it stops you from kind of focusing and spiraling on this thought of, my dog's going to react, oh no, what's going to happen, da da da. So that's the first thing. Try to just look straight ahead. Try and keep good posture. If you're slouched over and you're kind of shy, you know, some people when you go out on a walk, you don't want to be seen. You're not wearing the nicest clothes. You go out, get the walk done and get home. But if you walk around like you don't want to be seen, it just shows a lack of confidence, and your dog's not going to like that. So they think they've got to take control, and then they react. Now the other thing is that tension on the lead. It does a few things. Like I said, that tension, when they feel pressure one way, they actually want to go against it. It builds frustration. So that's going to cause them to react. So that's one thing. But also, when we go back to the pack of dogs analogy, where there's one leader and then other followers, in a pack of dogs, the reason why it works so harmoniously is because the leader trusts the followers to follow him, and the followers trust the leader to lead. Now, if I want that mutual trust and that mutual respect, I need to trust my dog that he's going to follow my guidance. And I'm not telling him I trust him by holding him like this, am I? This tension is telling him, I don't trust you, you've got to stay with me, there's no chance. Trust is basically giving them an opportunity to do something wrong, knowing that they're not going to, or hoping that they're not going to. So I walk with a slack lead. I'm ready, like I'm mentally bracing myself. So if he starts pulling, I can give him a pop away, or I can guide him, or I can give him that guidance, so I can stop it from escalating. But I can't tell him that I trust him unless I give him that slack. So you need to have calm, confident energy. You need to show him that you're not bothered by the thing. You don't want pressure on the lead because that's going to make him react from that pressure. And also you want to have that mutual trust and that mutual respect. So you can't do that with a tense lead. Now there are other things you can do that can make this process maybe a bit easier or a bit quicker for you, but I just didn't want to overwhelm you in this video. The idea of this video is just telling you to stay calm and confident, not put too much pressure on the lead, keep it slack, and also to teach an assumed heel. If you do all of that, their reactivity is definitely going to go down. If you want more of a deep dive into how I stop every dog from reacting, and also I go over recall, lead manners, and everything else regarding the walk, then you can go to my Skool community. You get 7 days for free if you just want to try it out. But you can go over to my Skool community where we go over every aspect of the walk. We do weekly Q&As as well with any questions you've got. And there's a designated section for you to upload videos of you training your dog, so we can give you personalised advice to help you get there or get the results you want even quicker. So if you want a bit of extra help, you'll see the link in the description. I'll see you there.